Nissan.
Ooh, that's a nice Nissan.
It's a very nice Nissan. So you ready to get started?
Definitely, man.
Okay, so today we have been luckily given the opportunity to review the Lamborghini Urus. Now this is a 2019 model, brand new, 800 kilometers, which is, as far as I'm told, delivery mileage.
From Italy?
From Italy, tested and whatever. But is completely brand new. It was never owned by anyone, which is why it's got no plates. So it's got the full delivery package and service package and everything included. So for those like me who can't be bothered to wait, because I mean it is the perfect spec.
Do you know how much it costs?
I know that these things start at 120,000 dino, and I do think that this is 120,000 dino.
Exactly.
So this has got Audi's
Qs?
No, we're just going to call it the Audi because it's under the Audi branch. It's got the, okay, we might as well, the Volkswagen, but it is developed by Audi, the 4-litre V8. Now, being a Lamborghini, it's obviously heavily tuned. It's a twin turbo model and it creates 641 brake horsepower and 627 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's not to say that because Audi or Volkswagen have developed it, that it's a bad thing. I mean, having a reliable Lamborghini, to me, it's a win-win, right?
Always.
It is the engine that's featured in the Cayenne Turbo. However, this has got 90 brake horsepower, and it is featured in the V8 Bentley Bentayga. Looking around this thing, this is definitely the Louis spec. Black on black with a red interior. Now, I always thought that I wouldn't get a red interior, but having spending a little bit of time with this machine, this beast, it's really, really quite nice. Now the Urus itself is available in 5 seats and 4 seats, and this version is the 4-seated model, which I think is definitely the one I'd go for. I have no friends, so I shan't be carting anybody about. Plus, I think the 4-seat arrangement just looks better. I don't know about you, Ahmed, I don't know if you agree with that.
Well, always, see, the less people you have in your car, the better for me.
Well, see, now, the way I do it is there'd be me, and a dog, and...
Me?
Well, you can go in the back, the dog will be in the front. Then there's, I guess, space for one more, I guess. But, in my opinion, the Lamborghini Urus, or however you wish to say it, is got to be the best looking SUV on the market.
So I noticed that this Lamborghini actually is almost full spec, apart from some carbon options that are not there.
Yes.
That's it.
So no, this is a really, really high spec car, and they are offering it for close to retail price of the base car. And I have to say, this car has been lent to us by Elegant Motors here in Bahrain, and we have to say this is, I don't know if you agree with me here, Ahmed, this is the best exotic car showroom in Bahrain.
How can I not agree with you, man? I'm just thrilled to be here.
No, and it is really, really such a beautiful place, and the service you get from here is second to none.
I'm really restraining myself not to drift off in this video.
Hopefully not to sleep.
No, to another car. To another car.
But I have to say, if you're in the market for an exotic car, and not necessarily a supercar or a hypercar, but they've got regular 911s here, they've got Tourings here, and they've got, you know, I'm using the term exotic loosely, because they have, you know, they've got the Ferraris, the SLSs, the Lamborghinis, but then they've got like the collectors, Land Cruisers, and so on. But today we're just going to feature, and I'm going to rub this ever so slightly, the Lamborghini Urus. Every time I do rub it, I get my greasy mitts on it, and then I feel really bad. Okay, so now actually, the Urus, as I've probably mentioned, is definitely one of my favourite cars on the road today. Now the Urus does have a couple of tidbits to me that are really quite interesting, design-wise and manufacturing-wise. So if you have a look at the brakes, on the Urus, they all have carbon ceramic brakes as standard. Because I mean, considering such a powerful engine is going to stop such a large chassis. Now they are, at the front, 44 centimetre carbon ceramic brakes, and they are the largest carbon ceramics ever fitted to a production car. And it was a world's first actually for Lamborghini. And anyway, really. At the back, They are 37 centimetre carbon ceramics. So it's front and back carbons. Now, moving to the back, seeing as I've got you here, Ahmed, Lamborghini is now almost quite known for their Y design. It's almost as renowned as the hexagon that we'll find all over this car. So in terms of Y design, you'll find it featured in the headlight, in the taillights, in the headlights, and in certain parts of the car itself, on the interior and exterior. You'll find it on design cues such as the muscles of the car. You'll find it on the shoulders of the car. You're getting Y shapes. And probably most famously, the Ys in the headlights and the Ys in the front grille. Now, if you have a look into the front grille of the car, you'll see these massive air intakes and front radiators. Now, they are needed because this car has a top speed of 190 miles per hour. Now, at one point, this was I think, the fastest SUV in the world, and I think that's been taken over by Bentley. The Bentayga, I think, is over 200 now.
The speed?
I think so.
The Bentayga speed, I mean, not the speed of the car.
The speed. But on the terms of the exterior, in terms of looks, in my opinion, in this spec as well, there's nothing that can suit me more. It's a big, thick, chunky car.
Big,
thick, chunky boy. And it's finished in an incredible colour. So if we head on to the interior of the car, I can point out a couple more tidbits.
Let's go.
Here on the inside of the Urus, it is a completely different monster. You've got the classic Lamborghini steering wheel with amazing feeling. Gotta be, I don't know, some kind of metal.
Paddle shifters?
Paddle shifters, thank you, Ahmed. And they've got, now see now, I love Lamborghini as a brand. I do have a problem with one thing.
You have a problem.
I have multiple problems, but I have a problem with the brand.
You have a problem with the Lamborghini.
Who?
The man who wants to buy a Aventador, SV, SVJ, a Urus, you clearly have a problem.
And a Huracan.
And a Huracan.
Okay, so it's the Alcantara. And I can only see this on the Urus. It seems thick. It's not like that suede-y feel that you find in the Porsche or the Mercedes. It's a thick Alcantara. Mm-hmm. It is a thick fabric, and I don't know if it's even Alcantara. But I guess it's even more suited to me because, quick little disgusting fact, I have quite sweaty palms. And to be honest, even just rubbing it is, it's damp, has dried me up a bit. Moving on, the gauges are a full digital display. And when they are running, they are absolutely gorgeous.
As you saw in the B-roll.
Yes, as you can please hopefully see that nothing is corrupted. Touch wood, it doesn't. Now the Urus itself is fitted with 3 screens. The digital gauges, an upper and a lower one. One for maps and things, and the other for AC, climate, and things like that. Now, speaking of the hexagon design that's mostly featured in the Huracan, it carries over to the Urus. Hexagons can be found across the dash, in the seat inlays, the shape of the gauges themselves, the shape of exterior lines, cup holders, parking brake holders, and even parts of the anima itself. Now the Urus itself is, and it can be seen, it's very Audi-like, which to me isn't a problem. To have a car that I know will last, to me doesn't upset me as much as it would other people, purists, who think they want everything Lamborghini and nothing to work. Because I can confirm you it is indeed a Lamborghini, because we've been here for 2 hours and the battery has stopped working. Ahmed?
Nothing, no comment.
Lamborghini. Doesn't stop me from loving this car.
You can never, ever, not love an Italian car.
No.
Never,
You've
even if you try.
You've seen the way I am with the Maserati. Nothing works. The doors sometimes don't even open and let me out. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
It has a soul.
It does. It certainly does have a soul. And this car has a different type of soul. It's huge in terms of the interior. The exterior, there's enough space for, I guess if I've got to bring you along, Ahmed. This front seat will definitely fit a good. How do you like the 4-seat configuration, Ahmed?
For me, I told you, less people, better for me.
But I also think design-wise, it's a nice thing. Going around to look at the door bins, we can see the Y-spoke design on the speakers. And in a hexagon pattern. In a hexagon shape, I mean. So there's multiple hexagons on the door that can be seen, including the handles for the doors themselves. And something I've just noticed here, the glove box is in the shape of a hexagon. Now, some weird thing that we always pick up on Just Drive is the size of the glove box. And this is, I might just keep reaching into this, this is one of the biggest glove boxes.
It's gonna swallow your whole man.
Yeah, that's just going back. My arms are huge. But inside this car, it is very, very comfortable. It is a place where you can spend a lot of time, given if the battery is working. Now, the reason we're going to say that, the car has been stationary for some time and hasn't been started. So B-roll has been taken whilst there was a little juice left. And it might have been us who ruined the whole thing. Moving on. In terms of a daily driver, or if you could ever have one car, for me, this is it. This has really rolled together the comfort. I've always said in previous vlogs, the Porsche Cayenne was a car, and is a car, that is just so usable. In the family, we've had more than 6, and they've been used to no end. They've just been beaten and battered. And knowing that the Urus itself sits on the same chassis and uses some of the same components, I know that this is a car that is going to last way into the future. It is definitely a car that I want. This specification is, for me, perfect. We've got that beautiful black exterior that looks amazing in the nightlight. You've got the black wheels. I believe they're 22s or 23s. I think they're 23-inch wheels.
Yeah, they are 23-inch wheels, and they are actually, the tires are bespoke to Lamborghini. You can see the L
You certainly can.
on the tire itself.
But, you've also got touches here, like the tricolore badge, which is seen on the exterior on some of the not so real vents, but the thing looks beautiful. There's no doubt about it. And the tech you get inside is very Audi. The build quality is very Volkswagen, but the engine itself is incredibly Lamborghini.
As much as I love Lamborghini, and I love this car so much, this looks like a boat control, man.
Yeah, leave this out of it. This, to me, I find really interesting.
It's lovely. It's something new you haven't seen in any other car.
No.
But it resembles what you use to control.
But then again, I find that quite interesting because Rolls-Royce,
they're
the
going
Phantom,
for fighter jet style all the time, Lamborghini.
Yeah, but the Phantom itself, that's based off a yacht. The Dawn, the back of that is like a yacht, because because of the wooden padding. This is like a fighter jet. It's almost like a Batmobile that we're going to pull it back to go faster. The Anima I find is quite interesting and quite intuitive. I mean, you know, people complained about this latch and the Aventador that they couldn't be bothered to do this.
That's
to start the car.
Man.
That's too many steps. They just wanted to stick their finger through.
That's too many
But
steps.
I mean, the sense of occasion you get in this car for a daily driver is unbelievable.
So what about cup holder size under next to you, or the armrest itself?
So, closing the door, and I have a load of room in this car, considering that it's a stationary. I can't move the seat. Colour for any reason. You can fit a large bottle in here. There's certainly 2 cup holders here. There's definitely 2 cup holders there. That's 4. What do you need? How many people you got in the car? There's
What
only
about
4.
the armrest itself? How big is it?
It is a big armrest. I mean, I'm not sharing. This is just for me.
I mean, the storage under the armrest.
See, now, I have no idea. Oh, there we go. And a wireless charger. Look at that. Neat. But this is certainly an incredible car, and one that I would love to add to the garage. Hopefully not too far away.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I think we'd be the worst people with YouTube money. We just own so many cars.
So, moving on to the back.
The seats are moved quite far back, so there's no chance that I'm getting in. But there's something I've just noticed about these 4 seats. If you pan down, you can actually see that they're electronically adjusted. And that's something I didn't know.
Me too, man.
I mean, this is such a nice car for the passenger, for the driver, and its experience. And it's something that, you know, no matter what angle you're coming at it from, it's got the luxuriousness, it's got the looks of a Lamborghini, and certainly it's got the noise and sound of it. There's not much to be seen at the back because it's not got the tablets that you can have optioned.
But you have also a panoramic sunroof.
You do have the full panoramic sunroof, and it is a good option, and it is something that
I'm not sure if
I
it's
don't know
showing
if
in the
it's
shot.
picking up, especially because we're inside of a building and it is black and the roof is black.
Yeah.
But there's one there. Moving on to the back, to the boot. This thing has got an exceptionally large boot. Large enough that I know I could get Ahmed in. However, large enough that I know I sadly can't open it if there's no battery. But we'll try. Okay, so on our way back to the boot, which we found might not open, I didn't actually know, looking at these pictures, pictures of this car, looking at pictures of this car, that this is an actual wing. I mean, that
It has
got
2
aero
wings.
purpose.
It has 2 wings.
It's got a lip, but that's an actual wing that will force air completely underneath. And I don't know if you can catch it with a camera, but it is.
Certainly can.
It's this car, you know. I know if I could have one car for the rest of my life, I always said, you know, the Cayenne is something you can use every day.
You can't have
And
one car
having-
for the rest of your life.
No, but if you were forced in the position where you know you could only have one, you knew that you'd have to have the car potentially for journeys, potentially to bring, you know, passengers, potentially to do things like that.
Urus.
You know,
Fun and family.
and the design is jaw-dropping.
Yes.
And there's not an element of this car.
And you've
that
heard
I-
the exhaust of this car.
Oh, it's fantastic. There's not an element of this car that I purely disdain. I like everything of it, even the suede or the Alcantara on the steering wheel. Helps with the clamminess. What can I say? And this particular model, you know, is finished so well. Now, to wrap up the review, I have to say a big thank you to Elegant Motors here in Bahrain. And this car is actually for sale with a working battery, I promise you. This showroom and the quality of service we've had from the guys has been amazing. The cars they have here, the stock and inventory that they can get and get their hands on is certainly one of the best in the Gulf. And I know these guys do ship all around the Gulf. So if you're in the market for an exotic car, a classic car, or something a bit different, definitely hit them up. They're on Instagram, and you'll probably find it down in the link below. Don't buy it. I want it. I mean, I can't afford it, so I mean, do buy it. But I kind of want it.
Whoever buys it, just invite us for, you know, an on-road review.
Yeah.
So at least, you know, we can.
So, also stay tuned because there's
So many
loads more cars
coming in.
coming soon. So stay subscribed.
Don't forget to like,
Yeah, comment.
subscribe, turn
Yeah.
on the notification bell, and tell us
What
what do
everybody
you
else
think.
tells you to do.
What do you think of this car.
Do you love it as much as I do?
And if you have any other car in particular in this showroom or in their inventory that you want us to review,
Don't forget to give them a follow on Instagram, because it's certainly worth it. And
I guess
thanks for watching.
until next time, just drive.